Yo, Abusia, Yabemo Bibia Kwaba, Nabusia, former Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Torkono, Yade Bremo, a bra was a day, new case Sup.Court, watch say, Yen reinstating a Supreme Court as a Supreme Court judge, Nabusia, and Semi, a Boba Bontino, Aba Baby Bruja, Nanda Menoka say, NDC lawyer, your friend, lawyer Martin Pibu, Waba. Abeke kanadwene actually Torkono a enye asemkuma according to lawyer Martin Pibu oche say na Torkono ye obi a or respecting the papa nanso maame no sisi de no respecter no wo maame no ate aba 0% abusua lawyer Martin Pibu akansem na oche say eye Torkono request a ode enenam court high court na yen reinstate no as a judge in Supreme Court no. According to lawyer Martin Pibu, Oche say that yesono enya dia ebebem ende anase ochina abusia lawyer Martin Pibu akansem na me waste time kra na mepese mbami akone yakwakutie lawyer Martin Pibu nsem na odi tu dwane me nansa na be kono show so nya like jumedi na obe like share ma for nsa entumi enka bi medamase
Chief Justice for Crow my Ghana mono na make I say the former Chief Justice I sake no Sabi kwan ofaso na ombo ne dwuma ye Gertrude Araba Isaba Torkono na sem na meken na meka na sem na meka ne sensesia no ye maami wanye ne dwuma ye na embra na nkasa ne ne didi no o se mbra ye mbra ana meboa ono ano ka sa asem no se ne kure mbra ye mbra enti se mbra ye mbra dia mbra so na edi the former Chief Justice no ade a ode ekopie mo court na nsem o ka enyina ne se oppressor court betumi aboa no se why Chief Justice no massa ken kra na obetumi aye justice e di ama the apex court of the land me che ye Supreme Court no eno na asase me lawyer ni mapa ye friend no lawyer Pebu Martin Pebu so akasa afa asemi hu ase aha ne hin sansem na ma me ka se Chief Justice na ya pam na still no obetumi aye the justice Ediama the Supreme Court and apex court of the land no enyadia ye beso soso enyadia o se wo mama saade hu kwan kra enti sa asemi no ra Martin Pebu o de atudwa mama yenkoti asema Martin Pebu so okan was asemi hu.
There's absolutely a zero. There's absolutely no chance. Anybody who makes such an argument is being farcical. It's a joke. It's the most hilarious joke I've ever seen. Listen, let's do it this way. By Article 128, etc., a justice of a Supreme Court has to have integrity and not be involved in moral turpitude. They think that 367,000 Ghana cedis were lost because Justice Torkono signed for per diem for husband and then daughter, and the tickets are a joke. You know how many millions of citizens don't earn up to even 100,000 Ghana cedis the whole year? There are millions and millions and millions and millions of our citizens who don't earn 100,000 cedis the whole year. So when a Chief Justice takes such money for her daughter, when a Chief Justice takes that's the $10,000, it's more than 100,000 Ghana. When a Chief Justice takes $6,000 for her husband, which is more than 60,000 Ghana, etc., don't call that a joke. When a Chief Justice also allows the daughter to travel with her when it is not part of Article 71, conditions of service of the Chief Justice, it is not a joke. Huge constitutional breach. When a Chief Justice allows the husband to travel on the public purse, which is not allowed under Article 71, that is not joke. It's a huge breach of the Constitution. Let's stop kidding ourselves. You see, those who are pushing this argument that she can go and serve on the Supreme Court, you see, unfortunately, what they're doing is that because they keep pushing the argument too far, then we are forced to make arguments that we erode totally, okay, or leave next to nothing the integrity and moral turpitude of the Chief Justice. This thing should stop. it's as if we are in a banana republic. Anybody comes and just wants to say anything. It's not a joke. You know, you look at the millions of citizens who wake up, go to work every day, the whole year, they don't get 100,000. You take this in $10,000, which at the lowest will be 105,000. And if you look at the time, 2023, that was happening. You know, in the year 2023, we had a dollar not less than 13 Ghana. So you had 14, etc. You take such huge sums of money to give your daughter. You take such huge sums of money to give your husband. You take such huge sums of money to get business class ticket for your daughter, tickets for your husband. And somebody comes to say, oh, this is a joke. Please, 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 let's stop that. Rather, with every day that we keep discussing this topic, then it is the integrity of the Chief Justice that is being eroded. The more this topic is being discussed, then the more even you raise public anger. Is that how the Chief Justice behaved with our public purse? As I said, this if we are not careful, you even do it, somebody will take the criminal aspect of this case on. Because it's a crime as well, abuse of public office. Check the Act 29, using public office for private gain. That's corruption. Corruption. So please, this you see, I appreciate devil's advocate, but not this type of thing. Which court in this country or anywhere in this world will allow a Chief Justice who has taken our money and used it anyhow like this to continue in office as a Supreme Court judge? Why? What kind of logic is this? Please, let's stop. When you push the argument, you are just rather creating more trouble and eroding the integrity of the Chief Justice, because the more we discuss it, and then the more the ordinary citizens also engage in the conversation, then the more it becomes clear that our public purse has just been used anyhow. Like they say, Oga de chop am nyafu nyafu nyafu. So the Attorney General, if it is the one we saw yesterday night, what the Attorney General is saying is that what the Chief Justice wants in the High Court cannot be done. It will involve a constitutional interpretation. So if that is so, the High Court judge should refer the matter to the Supreme Court, because when it comes to interpretation of the Constitution, it is the Supreme Court that has that mandate, and it's exclusive. The rest of the courts don't interpret. Interpret means give meaning. But rather, what the rest of the courts do is that when the provision is very clear, that's the part of the Constitution in contention, when it is very clear, or where the Supreme Court has given many interpretations on that provision, which has made it clear, then the smaller courts will apply it. Yes, when I say smaller, the High Court is smaller, relative to the Supreme Court. But by all means, the High Court is a big court. But when it comes to relativity, it is small compared to the Supreme Court. Okay. So the point is that what Justice Torkono is looking for, we had said it, that no, it cannot be done in the High Court. She essentially wants an interpretation of the Constitution, and that interpretation can only be done in the Supreme Court. So it's good that Justice Remsai, the Deputy Attorney General, has applied to the High Court. So now the High Court most probably will agree and then refer that part of the case to the Supreme Court. So that means after some months, you see that the people will now, that's the Justice Torkono and her lawyers, and then the Attorney General would then appear in the Supreme Court, because the High Court would have made the order that that part, interpretation, should go to the Supreme Court. Yeah. Then they will appear in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will go through the processes and then give a ruling. Then based upon it, then they will return back to the High Court and use what the Supreme Court has said to dispose of the case. Okay. So that's the right thing. Okay. But please, let's stop this. Look, the way we are pushing this argument that nothing was done, these are trifles, please. It tells you that we are not serious about protecting the public purse. There is a case, the Akroma DC versus Attorney General, and then Dafia Mepo versus Attorney General. That is a case in which this Akroma DC went to court that presidential spouses, that's the first lady and second lady, should not be paid any allowances, etc., from the consolidated fund. And the Supreme Court said yes. And it was Justice Torkono who was leading. You see, because the argument is that, and that's right, under Article 71, when you open to 71, you not see the terms and conditions. But what you see is that it makes provision for a committee to be set up to propose terms and conditions. Then the president would accept or reject those terms.
Okay.
Now, under Article 71, through it, we've had the Professor Miranda Greenstreet report, suggesting making proposal for emoluments, conditions of service of MPs, etc. And then Then from there, even if not in a certain order, we had the Irama Ade, also a professor at University of Ghana. Irama Ade report, Professor Irama Ade. Then we had the Buando report, also another professor. All of them, is a coincidence that they are.
Okay, abusuanti nsem no mu bi ene ekokoti no na abusuan ma show dwumadi onya like ya be like subscribe to the channel na afi so share dwumadi no ma onu anso nsa entumi enkabi abusuan afi yemko ofa etoso mienu Ghana police CID boss ene IGP Christian Tete Yehu no abusuan omo ebo adwuma papa na nda me no wokase ade a Ghana police etimi akwache notorious armed robbers mako 10 abo emumiensetu ekumamu abusuan armed robbers anachese omo Ghana homo de omo banks nkwana mo de esi omo ni sombe robbe omo no ende ayade Ghana police ensa etima so nipa 10 mu a omo asabo emu 3 tu ekumamu abusuan me waste time no mo mienko nkotie ensama ekoso
all female professors, right? So we've had all these reports. The point is that these reports that were made pursuant to Article 71, they don't give any chance for a Chief Justice to take money for her husband or take money for her daughter, etc. That is it. So it's a constitutional breach. So please, those saying that this is trifle, it was just done on political lines or it was just political witch hunt. Sorry, if the Chief Justice hadn't done those, would there have been grounds to remove her? I mean, I can, so the main thing is that if the Chief Justice hadn't breached the rules, would the petitioners have found grounds to go to the president and then the president through the Council of State, etc., for the committee to be set up?
A private legal practitioner, your friend, Martin Pobu, Anna, your teen in Shemo Trim, a former Chief Justice, her ladyship, Gertrude Alaba is about Torkono, and some of the two Jano. And then what Shemo say, Yadia say, Mameno, you're reinstating as a justice, Edema, the Supreme Court in the bill, or see you made your dean a bon can. Nti be here say obekwa kwatena fie enye say ye man kwan biom na ende so ye call CID headquarters a COP leader ya call Donko ene odensem bi editu dwa ono no ye Director General Adema Criminal Investigation Department of Ghana Police CID omu department no ene press conference so ye odensem tu dwa FN Robert bia omo hankofo ani wo Ghana fa na nyina na ye chibi na emunsem no yebeko na ekotie CID boss a friend no Lydia yako Donko nensem odu tu dwa mama yenkotie mbra.
On the 10th of April 2025 at about 1 a.m., this gang attacked and robbed the Adansi Rural Bank at Fomina and made away with an undisclosed amount of money and 2 pump action guns belonging to the security men on duty. The gang scaled the bank wall, tied up the security men, and cut the security door with an industrial electric cutting machine before gaining access into the bank's vaults. On 23rd April 2025 at 4 a.m., the same gang armed with pump-action guns attacked and robbed the Lower Pra Rural Bank at Takrade in Chaban. The robbers broke into the bank and used an industrial electric cutter to cut the bank's vaults and made away with the money in the vaults. In addition, investigation has been able to confirm that some of the suspects were present at the various crime scenes around the time these robberies occurred. Also, during an identification parade, some of the suspects were positively identified by some victims of the robbery. Additionally, some of the exhibits, including the AK-47 rifles, some of the pump-action guns, and mobile phones have also been positively identified. Investigation is still ongoing. All the suspects are in custody and will be put before court while efforts are intensified to get those at large arrested.
CID boss, and you're saying can COP Lydia Yako Donko on no or de asemno edi etu dwano IGP so akasa afa ensema akoso ho yenkwa na yenkwahwe IGP ora Christian Teteyo no so nsema odo tu dwa was ansemi ho.
We are delighted to share with you a major, massive breakthrough in the service has made in our fight against violent crimes, specifically armed robbery. The operation over the past year, the service recorded a number of robberies targeting financial institutions, particularly rural banks. My team and I, after analyzing these robberies, observed a similar pattern. We immediately got to work. After painstaking investigations, working with credible informants, analyzing available data, surveillance across several regions, we launched a targeted operation to arrest these criminal elements. This operation took us to the Akuffo, the Western, the Central, Eastern, and Ashanti region. I'm delighted to announce that we have successfully dismantled the gang behind all these robberies. So far, we have successfully arrested 10 suspects. 3 other suspects were shot dead in the course of the operation during a shootout with the police.
IGP COP Christian Teteyo no ono na yete ono so nenka wo armed robbers nationwide on my operations so much bia o echem se miensa so na abo mutuo ma make us say omonka krati asefo ho anti ma efimo aba no de eteno no me pacho say sia no IGP one CID department ni bo adwuma ye papa wo hu bi mu on potem no hu mu ye ma police ente say omu di nkofo ewu we de lower prade miami rural bank pa ya town rural bank na ekobo mu kro no wontwa ban no ha adwene ye papa me kan Francis Abonitinko lower pra of course secondary takra ne potem a rural banks akasi mienu a omobo adwuma lower pra rural bank na Hantaman rural bank omobo adwuma pa anti me ncheche mpanifo ho no na me aso me nkofo a me no omodu dwuma amemfiman rural bank for mo hote sen manager Charles ne dom mi chechi am papa amemfiman rural bank mi amemfiman rural bank de amemnchia nana Kofi Atochi amemfist constituency chairman NDC mi chechi na papa one NDC party mu fo nyina amemnchia MP so wo ho Nicholas Amankwa ne so mi chia papa member of parliament de amemfist mi chia ansana MC ono so ho Nana Eba Raymond Nana Eba enti oso mitia papa muina mo hote se mo amemfist nchi akese enkoma munyina bebi adri say yensembre yebeko na yekodi enkomo na yekodi nkomo dia owura Michael Nikpapo Alote ya ndra day almost signing memorandum of understanding omani campaigner omoba na 24 hours omo be cleaning Accra baby just falling into a Accra metropolitan area ni na no ni demarcation ni areas ni na no mo be clean 24 hours wumpe we na upede sa so 24 hours taxing so be koso ma mo ton ade ni bre ani ade no ade asesi e betete tax e de amon ade owo enisuadu hunu papa enti se wutie mi a o se wu hunu se no kre Accra metro yenya mayor owo vision obeboa na Accra will work again. And so Honorable Michael Papo Alote baby will be Honorable Michiao Boedjuma obia se Papo na eko wa ma Accra ye fe kwaso bo wedjuma maybe also Ken Nicholas enya dia metna office me field marshal and today bia no ube hu se Honorable si field no onam fom oni obi e kasa eyon ye gidigidi ochire obi akasem kasa ode beto anim no banso omu na ate ase kama no omedi so sana o se eye mayor sene MC sene na edisuso eye ne kama pa woni wonua eye honorable Gazy ono so ondi agrokra eye kolekote.
Alright, abusuan teachers winning some koso our political highway such as NDC lawyer Martin Pebu waba abestri Torkono nekeda wabobɔ na adwene amana wɔtwe se maame no na dayeso na ɔso no ɔnti nani isan se nya dia NDC abanwe ebe manako Supreme Court akoye adwuma as a judge ende anaso china yasake na de yasake no nti se nkokɔ nketenkete adwumadie ni bi no bɛkɔ akoye na kyese wenyeska atuni botom dia ende onkonkoye no nto na adwene se NDC abanwe ebe manako Supreme Court as a akwadibone abusua mede mo besia na madam asesamo de penimi ekuti nsɛm a ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ political highway ni so aha POG Media medamasi.